for years the direction of our nation through our laws. Now, in 1976 to 1980, a man by the name of President Jimmy Carter from the South here in Georgia appointed, and I want you to hear this, appointed, and I want to get the numbers right, he appointed 37 of 258 federal judges, especially judges in the South. I'm not saying all 37 were in the South, but he appointed several federal judges, especially in the South, 37 during his administration out of 258. Now, that amounts to 15% of his appointments. We were about 12 to 13% of the population at the time, which is probably close to the same. So President Carter appointed 15% African Americans to the federal bench. If that's not pro-black, I don't know what is pro-black. So I'm scratching my head when I hear that this is the most pro-black president in our lifetime. I won't even touch that anymore. But that's people have already spoken on it. When you look at what has come down through the administration, I don't know if I've heard yet a pro-black statement to come from the administration. All right. And then I just want to touch on one other thing, and I'm going to be out. It was said, my father's name, was invoked at the meeting. My father's name is invoked a lot in a lot of places, and I wish I could speak every time, but I can't. Sometimes it's invoked correctly, other times incorrectly. It's taken out of context, all kinds of things. But a statement was said, my father said, we cannot influence a table that we are not seated at. Now, again, I just want to be clear on something. I, Bernice A. King, and I'm speaking to you today as the daughter of Martin Luther King Jr. and Coretta Scott King, and as a woman of God. I'm in my 30th year of ministry. And I want to say this because I think it's important to say this. My father said, according to this pastor, we cannot influence a table that we are not seated at. Well, let me first say, I agree. No disagreement at all out of that statement. I agree that part of the problem is that we as the black community, brown community, have not had seats at a number of tables, even to this day. And that if we're going to influence things beyond just protesting, we do have to have a seat at the table. A seat at the table is critical and important. In fact, I believe that you cannot change anything if you're not willing to let me say this way. I don't believe you can change anything unless you are willing to talk to people, speak to people, not mincing your words, who have different perspectives, opinions, and ideologies. I endorse that. I don't believe we can stay in echo chambers. I don't think it's healthy for us to draw a line in the sand and let people remain in certain mindsets. In fact, I always say to people, it is irresponsible to leave people in their ignorance, in their hate, in their fear, even in their stupidity. It is a crime shame for us to do that. We have a responsibility to help people elevate their consciousness. And we do that through a nonviolent process, which includes sitting at the table and also, when necessary, bringing some extra pressure through direct action campaigns. Notwithstanding that, though, sitting at the table is not enough. If I had been invited to dinner at the Consul General's home, and I didn't have an opportunity, as I said earlier, to determine what the menu looked like, it was going to be very difficult for Bernice A. King to just sit at the table. And so, it's not about sitting at the table. It's about that first word. We cannot influence a table that we are not seated at. It's not sitting at the table that makes the difference. It's what you say when you're at the table that makes a difference. Now look at this. The word influence. I had to look it up. I know we all know what it means, but sometimes I'm not smart enough, so I have to go to the dictionary. So I'm just going to read a little bit real quick. Influence. The power to change or affect someone or something. Okay? That's influence. The power to change or affect someone or something. Another definition. The action or process of producing effects on the actions, behavior, opinions of another or others. Now, nothing wrong when it's appropriate to applaud an individual who has done a good job. But when an individual has done things that have been hurtful, harmful, damaging to other people, and you have an opportunity to speak to that individual, it is your responsibility to seek to use the power to change or affect that individual so that they will respond in a different way going forward. The perplexing thing for me is that after that meeting, President Trump tweeted this about one of our brothers who has done something substantial in our nation by the name of LeBron James. Trump tweeted, LeBron James was just interviewed by the dumbest man on television. That's a whole nother conversation, because that word should never be used by a leader in any field. In any field, that's not a word that any leader should use. Don Lemon. He made LeBron look smart, which isn't easy to do. I like Mike. He made LeBron look smart. No, LeBron is smart. LeBron did something that most people have yet to do, that have power, influence, and wealth, which includes the President of these United States and so many others who sit in the billionaire category. LeBron, talking about influence, set up a school for inner city kids, for those who are marginalized. Set up a school to deal with their felt needs, providing breakfast and lunch, providing opportunities for their parents to get jobs, providing bicycles for their kids. There's just so many things that he set up in this institution and allowing them the opportunity to go to college free of charge. The capacity, the power to change or affect someone or something. This president that night sent out this tweet insulting not only Don Lemon, but also LeBron James, who had just done something that is going to change the trajectory of the lives of these children and going to break cycles of poverty and defeat for generations of children who have come from marginalized families. LeBron James is smart, but after leaving a meeting with our pastors, President Trump could not acknowledge that. So I'm troubled because we cannot influence a table that we are not seated at, but we are seated at a table. They are seated at a table. And exerting the power to change or affect our president, or the actions, the behavior, or opinions of another. Did not happen. I don't know what to say. But I will say this. The Word of God reminds all of us who are believers that we are the light of the world, and to let our light shine. And I've preached this over and over before. And I'm going to close with this. Light can do two things. Several other things as well, but just two for now. First of all, light is a guide. All of us know that if we are traveling in a dark place, in order to see where we're going, we need light. Without it, we are in danger of destroying our lives, other lives, period. And so light is a guide. We as men and women of God are charged with the responsibility to be light in this dark, dismal, difficult time. And if we sit in the presence of those who are in power, it is our responsibility to let our light shine, to be a guide. Yes, even the President of the United States of America needs a guide, especially now. Secondly, light reveals truth. When it's dark, it's hard to make out what is what. You can mistake something for something else when it's dark. But when you shine a bright light on something, it begins to reveal it and expose it as what it is. We have a responsibility as men and women of God to reveal and expose truth. And if we are in the presence of those who have any level of influence in our nation, in any arena, it is our responsibility to speak truth to power in the spirit of love. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, a moment in my personal opinion, was